Hello and welcome back to the Premier League Predictor here at the Royal Oak Pub in New Malden. Before we get into today's guests, let's see how my dad got on with Game Week 2's predictions.
Okay, let's have a look at Game Week 2's results. So, let's go through each game. So, Aston Villa vs Everton, it was 2-1. Both me and my dad had 1-1. So, it's -2 plus the 1 for the Everton score. So, that's -1 altogether. The Arsenal-Leicester game, which was a crazy game, finished 4-2. We both put a Arsenal win. Nothing else on the goal, so it's 2 points each. With Brighton versus Newcastle, a bit of a dull 0-0. My dad actually put 0-0, so he gets the 6, which is the 4 plus 2 plus the 4. I also got a draw, but not the exact result, so I just get 2. Man City Bournemouth was 4-0, pretty emphatic win. Both me and my dad put Man City to win with a clean sheet, so we both get 3 points. Southampton versus Leeds was a draw. My dad had 2-1 Southampton, so he gets -1. I had 1-1, so I get 2 points. Wolves versus Fulham, another 0-0. We both put Wolves to win. My dad gets the -1 because he had the 0 for Fulham, whereas I get -2 because I had 2-1 to Wolves. Brentford Man United, now, nobody was expecting this. Absolutely no one. We both put a draw, so we both get -2 on that one. Forest versus West Ham, again, neither of us put Forest to win, but we both get -1 because either of us got one of the scorelines correctly. Chelsea versus Spurs was 2-2. My dad got that spot on, so he gets a massive 10 points. So that's 2 plus 4 plus the 4 goals that were scored in a draw, so that's 10. I had a Spurs win, so unfortunately that gives me -1. And then Liverpool Palace, again, we both put Liverpool to win, thought they were going to, they didn't, and it was a draw, so Dad got -1 for getting the 1 Crystal Palace, I got -2 for putting 3-0. So yeah, looking at the results, it's clear that my dad won quite comfortably 14-0, I got 0 points, which is rubbish. He got 2 correct scorelines and had 2 other correct results and had 6 wrong results. I had 0 correct scorelines, 4 other correct results and 6 wrong results. So let's see how that looks in the guest league table. We've only had 2 guests so far. Mikey in the first week had 9. My dad this week had 14, so he goes to the top of the table. In terms of wins and losses, I've won 1 on the first week and I lost 1 on the second week, so that's an even split there. Anyway, it's back to the video with our new guests, and let's see how that goes.
Welcome back. This week's guest is Scott, and he is a Brentford fan. So tell us about Brentford so far this season.
Pretty
Happy
good.
Yeah,
very, very happy. I mean, to come back from 2-0 down against Leicester and get the draw was pretty impressive. And then, well, I don't think anyone expected what happened on Saturday.
No.
4-0 against United in the first half. So
I think a few people might have thought Brentford were going to win, but definitely not.
Oh no,
the
definitely.
way it was.
4-0.
4-0.
I was going mental in the stand. So
I don't think anyone was expecting Man United to be that bad, to be honest.
I know they were shocking.
I know they struggled in the first week, but yeah.
Everyone was expecting a bounce back, but they got stunned by the bees. So.
Yeah, exactly. Are you happy with your signings?
Very happy. They've all played well. I mean, we still haven't seen some of them in a proper competitive game yet, but for the ones that we have seen, like me and Hickey, very impressed.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
that's good. And you obviously got Damsgaard who's just come in.
Damsgaard just come in as well. Very happy with him. So hopefully he'll feature on the weekend for a big game for us as well. So yeah.
Yes, derby, and we will come to that. So let's move on to Game Week 3's fixtures.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start off with Spurs versus Wolves, 12:30 on Saturday. What do we think for that one?
I think Spurs are definitely going to win this game.
Yeah.
By how many goals, I'm not sure, so I'm going to go with probably the safer option. I'm going to go 2-0.
Yeah, I think a betting man would put their money on Spurs. I think they've started well. Yeah, they had a tough game against Chelsea.
Yeah, I just can't see Wolves scoring, to be fair.
Well, they've just signed a new player, but whether or not he'll be ready for Saturday,
yeah,
I think it'll be a Spurs win. I've gone for 2-1. I think Spurs tend to struggle against lower teams, but
yeah,
I still think they'll win. But I've gone for 2-1.
Okay.
So, moving on to the first 3 o'clock kickoff, which is Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa.
I've gone for a draw for this one. I've gone for 1-1. I think Palace, they did. I mean, they only had like 1 or 2 chances against Liverpool yesterday, and they managed to score from that. So they got a pretty potent counter attack. So I think they might be able to catch Villa out on the break, maybe perhaps. But I don't see them scoring more than 1 goal.
No, they've kind of with the game yesterday. Obviously, they went ahead on a counter, and obviously Nunes red card did change the game, and they don't really have a lot going forward in my mind. So I think it'll be a draw as well.
Okay.
I think it'll be 1-1 as well. Right, moving on to Everton versus Nottingham Forest.
I'm going to go for a Forest win, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think Everton with their striker problems at the moment. They don't have. I mean, they had Rondon, but I mean,
he's literally their only striker.
He's literally their only striker. Calvert-Lewin's out for we don't know how long, and I mean, their front three on the weekend was Gordon, Gray, and I can't remember the other person now, but. I just don't see them scoring with that attack.
No, I mean, because they're at home with the home crowd, I mean, what scoreline are you going to go for?
I'm going to go 1-0 Forest.
Forest, okay, it's going to be now. I'm going to go for a draw. I think it'll be 1-1.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of goals in it. I think Forest will defend quite deep.
Yeah.
I don't think Everton have got a lot. But yeah, I think a draw is probably the fairest result.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nothing to discredit Forest. They've started well. Obviously, they beat West Ham, but West Ham really should have come away with something.
They should have come away with at least a point.
Yeah,
I thought.
They had a lot of chances. They had a goal chalked off. They had a penalty saved. I've gone for a draw on that one. So let's move on to your game, which is Fulham versus Brentford, which is it's always a feisty one.
Yes, it is. Yeah, especially at Craven Cottage as well. It's hard to try and not be biased in this situation. However, saying that, I still think we're going to win.
Yeah, I think Brentford definitely been playing better than Fulham have.
I think there's still going to be goals on both teams. I think so. I'm probably going to go for a 2-1 Brentford win.
I've done the same. I think you'll edge it. It won't be like it was at the weekend. I don't think you'll blitz them.
For us to win, I feel we just got to neutralise Mitrovic, which is basically just man mark him the whole game. So
I think with Brentford and Fulham, I think sometimes maybe the players might let the occasion get better.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a tricky one. It
could be a feisty one. It could be a couple of cards.
Exactly,
maybe a couple of red cards. So at least we agree on that one. Leicester Southampton is the next one.
I'm actually going to go for a Leicester win.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-0.
Okay.
Only because I just think Southampton are. I think their only goal threat at the moment is Ward-Prowse, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I know he plays in centre mid, but he can't get forward all the time, can he? So
no. They've got Aribo who scored. He's from Rangers. He's all right, but
whether he starts or not because he's a new signing.
To see them struggling. I know they came back from 2-0 down, which was good at home, but I think away at Leicester, Leicester have got goals in them when they're up for it.
When you've got Vardy, anything can happen really. So.
Saying that, I do think it will be Leicester win. I've gone for 1-0.
Okay.
I think it will be close.
Yeah, so pretty similar there.
I don't think Southampton, they've already shipped 6 goals already. I don't think they're going to want to ship any more.
No, of course not.
They'll tighten up at the back. Right, let's move on to the 5:30 kickoff on the Saturday. It's Bournemouth versus Arsenal.
Well, I think with the strong start that Arsenal have had, I think it's going to be an obvious Arsenal win, in my opinion.
I think, credit to Bournemouth, they won the first game against Villa, and obviously they were way out of their depth against City.
Yeah, of course they were.
They'll probably be again out of their depth with Arsenal, with the way they're playing, especially, with Jesus.
Yeah, I think he's one of the most underrated signings in the window.
He's going to be really good. I can't really see anything other than an Arsenal win.
No, neither.
I've also gone 2-0 on that one.
Yeah.
Moving on to Sunday's first kickoffs at 2:00, got Leeds and Chelsea.
I've gone for a Chelsea win.
Yeah.
Even though Leeds, they've shown promise with the new signings, but like I said, it's only been 2 weeks, so the team's probably still gelling together and that.
Yeah.
I just think the way that Chelsea looked against Spurs, especially on the weekend, they dominated Spurs, and I don't know how Spurs got a point out of that game.
They were lucky.
So I'm going to go for a 2-1.
Yeah, I think with the Leeds home crowd, it can be a tricky place to go.
Yeah.
And they're obviously playing well, so they're going to have the confidence. I do think they'll score.
They'll be well up for it.
Yeah, well, I think Chelsea will edge it.
Yeah.
I've gone for 2-1 on that one. moving on to the other 2 o'clock kickoff, which is West Ham versus Brighton.
I've gone slightly different here. I've actually gone for a Brighton win.
Okay.
I think the way that Brighton played against Man U, I know people are going to say, "Oh, it's only Man U." They dominated them, and I know that Brighton, even last week they played well. So watching match of the day and that, so I think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be narrow. I think it's going to be a 2-1 Brighton.
Yeah, I think. I've gone the opposite. I think West Ham will get their first points of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously they've lost 2 games. They want to be back where they were last season, chasing Europe and things like that. So I've gone for a home win. I've gone for a narrow home win and gone 1-0. I think Brighton have started well, but I just think West Ham, they need the points, and I think they'll get it.
Yeah, I didn't take into account the home crowd as well, but
it's not completely out of the equation.
I'm going to stick to my guns and go for Brighton.
Well. Moving on to the 4:30 kickoff, Newcastle versus City.
It's a tough one, that, because Newcastle, they started off pretty well, and they're playing all right. Especially with that home crowd as well, they'll be well up for it as well against City, especially. But I still think City are going to win.
Yeah.
You can't factor in, you can't take into account like with Haaland as well. So
yes, I think City will win. I've gone for a narrow 1-0. I think it's a difficult place to go when they're playing well.
Yeah.
Their confidence is up. But I just think City are too good, and I can't really see anything else.
I've gone the opposite way. I've actually gone for them to win 3-1. City. I think Haaland's going to score a few goals against Newcastle.
Yeah, I think City will win.
I feel like
it's a case of how many.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if
they can keep Newcastle out.
Yeah, if City get the first goal, then the home crowd at Newcastle will just go silent, and then I think it's just theirs for the taking, really. So,
right, so we both agree on a City win there. Moving on to the last game, which is again another Monday night game, Man United versus Liverpool.
Well, I'm sure United are going to be desperate to get some points, and I'm sure
both teams have not started well at all.
No, I mean 2 draws for Liverpool. I don't think anyone would have expected that, really, especially with the first game against Fulham as well. I thought everyone would have thought you should have probably beaten them, and then last night, I mean, Palace, like I said, with just the one counter attack and getting their goal.
Yeah, and then the red card sort of ruined it. But in a way, it sort of spurred us on, but sort of kind of killed the game, really, didn't it? So, I still think it's going to be a Liverpool win. I still think you're going to get the first win of the season. Yeah, I think.
I think the job at United is just too big at the moment, and it's going to take a long time for it to sort itself out.
I'm not sure what the home crowd will be like. Whether they'll be behind them or it'll be a bit of...
I think they'll be behind them, and then depending on whether you get until whether United or yourselves get the first goal.
If Liverpool are ahead at half time, they'll turn. And it will definitely change the atmosphere. I've gone for 2-1.
I've gone for 3-0 Liverpool.
I've
gone for a convincing 3-0.
I know we've got a lot of injuries. We've got about 10 or 11 players out at the moment. We've not really got a striker. Now that news is suspended.
Yeah, but... It's like I said before, the Brentford game was like, if you've got Maguire at the back, then anything can happen, really. And Martinez, who's just going to be picked. He's going to be picked on every game. So
no, I don't think. I think it'll be close, but I do think we are the better team, so we are expected to win. So that's it. That's all 10 games done in Game Week 3. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like, and if you can, share with friends and family. I really do appreciate any kind of support. But yes, we'll see you in next week's video with a brand new guest. See you soon.